So here again for another episode of How to Not to TLDR. Too long, didn't read. And this is about organizing ideas in a concise way. Startups need to do this to attract attention. Today we're with Bart. So hi Bart, thanks for joining us. Hi.
Hi, Paul. Thanks.
And kindly you agreed to tell us about Spotted by Locals, and I'll give a framework of 5 ways of doing that. And firstly, for Spotted by Locals, could you maybe for 30 seconds give us the pitch, and we'll start from there.
Sure, I'll try to stay brief. So Spotted by Locals is a network of blogs and apps by locals who write about their favorite spots. We have locals in 81 cities in Europe, Middle East, and North America.
Okay. And for the 5 elements, if we were going to write an executive summary about Spotted by Locals, what are the main positive aspects of the venture? What's the positive aspect right now for you?
For sure, it's the locals. That's what it's all about. It's not about the founders. Locals are doing all the work, and what makes Spotted by Locals unique for users is the fact that they are truly locals. They live in the city they write about. They speak the local language, and they love their city.
I read recently, it was the CEO of Airbnb saying that their numbers were up based on we're going to reduce mass tourism and have meaningful tourism. Do you think this kind of thing resonates with Spotted by Locals, meaningful tourism?
Absolutely. This is what we've been trying to do since 2008, since we started. And we think indeed this pandemic has helped to help the conditions actually to make more people realize that meaningful tourism is better tourism.
So I think you hint at there that it's a 13-year journey right now.
Almost, yes.
Yeah. So what's been the unique advantage, or has the unique advantage been adapting and modifying over the years that you have in the market?
Well, to be honest, we haven't changed that much. In 2008, we thought of this this venture because what we were missing was knowing where the locals were hanging out as travelers ourselves. And nobody did back then what we are doing now. And still, it's the same. We're the only network of blogs and apps by locals who actually live in the city and speak the local language, etc. So we haven't changed that much in our concept.
Has there been any surprising research that takes you on a slightly different trajectory each time you discover something new in the market? I mean, which markets are you located in?
So we have locals in North America, in the Middle East, and in Europe, and we're increasingly expanding to cities that are a bit less known. And we have 81 cities at the moment, so most of the major touristy cities we got covered. And we are more interested in sending visitors to places that are not so well known. So the last city we expanded to, for example, is Tashkent, the capital of Uzbekistan. So those kinds of cities we are expanding to now.
Statistically, are there any compelling statistics that people would encourage people to go and seek out Spotted by Locals as an app and explore the cities using the app?
Statistics that make people use Spotted by Locals. I wouldn't have a good answer on this
Yeah.
one,
Mm.
to be honest.
Yeah.
No.
Generally
No.
in the market, what have you been following for tourism and making it more local?
Yeah, so we are following our competitors closely, of course, and this is a wide spectrum of competitors. Actually, we have the traditional travel guides like Lonely Planet, Rough Guides, um, and we have, of course, big websites and apps like TripAdvisor and Yelp, Foursquare,
Hmm.
and we're following them closely, of course, especially the ones who work with algorithms. Google is getting better at
Ah,
estimating what people want to see, but we think still people uh, like our locals know better than algorithms what's
yes.
cool.
I think I saw a graph recently on the LinkedIn part of Spotify Locals, indicating that the platform or the app Spotify Locals hosts more cities than the many more typical algorithm-driven sites.
Yeah, that's something we discovered recently, actually, while we were just looking around websites of the big travel guides like Rough Guides and Time Out, Lonely Planet. And actually, we discovered that we cover more cities than they do. Uh, that's pretty cool for a small company like us, we think.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I figure people come to the Spotted by Locals site or app, and they have to start seeking out their preferences rather than their preferences being reflected at them by an algorithm.
exactly. Yes, that's the point. We have in every city between 5 and 8 locals who share their favorite spots. Basically, we try to find a mix of people who are different backgrounds, different parts of the cities where they live, and we think that works. And our aim is indeed to let people discover something new, something they wouldn't normally visit.
Yeah,
Like, for example, algorithms, if the Google algorithm knows that you like rooftop bars, they will send you to another rooftop bar in the city that you're about to visit, which can be cool and probably you'll enjoy it. But we think it's much more meaningful if you do something different, something really local. So we're trying yeah,
yeah,
to let our
yeah.
locals encourage you to go somewhere else.
Mm. And just to add that we know each other because I am one of the Paris spotters, and I'm always happy to give people a little window into my neighborhood through
Yeah,
sometimes odd and interesting. Uh, um, like one is like my favorite egg and bacon roll at my favorite deli, which is a unique thing to find in Paris at such a with such a great quality egg bacon roll. You know. So sometimes can be quirky, and others a little bit more uh, off the beaten path. Okay. Um, I've gone off the 5 question element or the 5 elements. So let's just dive into some questions that students posed when I let them know that I would. Give me 1 sec. I'm just going to plug in my laptop.
sure.
Okay, back back again. All right. So Mathilde, if I put the question on, so how did you get the idea of the concept? That's the first part of Mathilde's question. How did you get the idea of the concept?
Nice question. Always like telling this. Actually, it was our own experience with traveling, and R is Sanna, my wife, and me. We started Spotted by Locals, and we traveled a lot to cities, and yeah, we always missed the local. We not wanted to know where the locals were hanging out, and we couldn't find this information. So in 2007, we followed a blog by a guy in Brussels who led us to his favorite bar, his favorite restaurant, his favorite park. Actually, we led his life for a weekend, which was a lot of fun, and that actually was the trigger for us to start Spotted by Locals eventually.
Yeah, following somebody's footsteps for a day or a week.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
nice. And that was like 13 years ago.
It was,
Wow.
yes. Time
And
flies.
we have three elements to Mathilde's curious mind. Why is the app not free?
Because we need to make some money to continue growing to other cities. We want to give less known cities the chance to get promoted as well. And yeah, we just need some resources. We're not a money making machine.
Exactly.
We get by. But we do need some income to keep this community going and growing.
So it's an element of a community spirit between the people writing the spots too.
Absolutely, yes. It's I haven't talked about that yet, but it's a wonderful community. Actually, something we didn't really expect at the beginning, but we've grown to a community of more than 500 active spotters at the moment in 81 cities. They meet each other online, in person when they can. Every 2 years we have a weekend that we organize for the spotters, which is loads of fun. So yeah, the community is very important.
I know that firsthand.
I know.
The final part of Mathilde's kind questions. COVID-19. What kind of impact?
Yes, terrible impact. So our income has decreased by 80%, which is pretty terrible because we already weren't making a lot of money, just enough to get by. So we're losing money every month actually since the COVID pandemic started.
Okay, that's less downloads of apps.
Absolutely, less visitors on the website, less downloads of the app overall. Yeah.
And the visitors to the site are important for some level advertising.
Yes, well, people who visit the website, we hope eventually will download the app as well. And this is, from a revenue perspective, it's important that people go to the website because they learn about Spotted by Locals.
Learn about Spotted by Locals by the site, and then become, in a good way, by the stories about the local spots. People may eventually just download an app.
Yes, indeed. We are very happy with the website visitors as well. All the information is free there. All the tips by all the locals. But if you want the tips in an offline experience with a map where you can see where you are located in the city, where the nearest spots are, etc., you can get the app for about €4.
And that leads me on to Julian's questions. Thanks for looking at those questions there. If I just move that down. Okay, Julian actually asks, how can your map stand out from Google Maps? I think you mentioned it's offline.
Mm-hmm. Well, Google Maps are offline as well.
Ah,
Actually, I love the technology of Google Maps. It works fantastic, and offline as well. I think it's not the technical part that makes our map stand out, but the content. Yeah, the tips. On Google, you will find everything
mm,
from the bakery to the hairdresser and all the boring shops. On Spotted by Locals, you will only find authentically local spots recommended by locals.
yeah.
So it's much less information, but
Mm,
we think
mm,
more interesting
yeah.
if you
And we
like
use
local
the,
spots.
the word here tips. It's not so much reviews, it's more tips. This is what I do, this is where I go, this is something I want to show you and share with you. It's not really a review.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
And Julian actually asks, do you plan to increase the number of cities and the app? Have you mentioned the smaller cities?
Yes, absolutely. No, we want to keep growing, and we do every year. It's a bit harder now because we also want to visit the cities that we expand to. We meet all our locals in person. So yeah, during this COVID
I think,
epidemic, that's challenging. For
yeah,
example, the last city that we expanded to is the first city we haven't visited in person yet. So that's sad.
it's one of the unique advantages of the network of spotters is that you actually know personally uh, the hundreds of spotters that write.
Yes, well, it's definitely a lot of fun to visit all those cities and to meet all the persons who we work with. But also, we think it's important. Yeah, we are kind of the connection. We know we can trust all these spotters, so that makes the network
Yeah.
more valuable as well.
Back to the app. A tech question from Julian. Um, how do you control the spots users can add? And I'm not. You can answer this in whichever way, see it from whichever perspective you
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, so that depends a bit on what you see as users. Um, at Spotted by Locals, only the pre-selected spotters who we have verified speak the local language and actually live in the city and love their city, and who we met in person. Only they can add spots to the Spotted by Locals app, but also the website. But in the app, you can also add your own spots. So if you want to add your hotel or I don't know, the train station or something that you find interesting or a tourist highlight, you can do it in the app as well.
And the spot added by the person who downloaded, it's
Yes.
it's a marker and not really any description.
Yes, indeed. It's a title,
It's a title.
or you can write whatever you want.
And that
Yeah.
remains just in the view of the that single user.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So it's not shared with the other users of Spotted by Locals. It's a private,
Yeah,
your own private
so
favorite
it
spots or
kind of
useful spots.
personalizes the experience for you. Nice.
Yeah.
And and now we have Enzo. Just 2 points to end. How much research and development time have you done? Do you think? Are you doing more now than previously? Is it developing more rapidly?
Research. Well, we've done a lot of research when we started. So my background is I was a management consultant, so I like writing plans. So I did a lot of research, but yeah, we think it's more important to just do. That's also something we learned, and over the years we've grown increasingly confident that our concept is a good one, that it works, and I would say that we spend less and less time researching and more doing actually work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you work directly with a developer?
Yes, that's one of my roles to coordinate the marketing stuff and work with marketeers, but and also the development of the website and the apps. It's what I help coordinate.
Um, just this final note from Enzo. What's the target audience then?
Yeah, nice question.
Yeah.
All nice questions actually. um, it's people who travel a lot. So it's not people who would visit Paris for the first time, for example, but usually if they've been there before, they've seen the Eiffel Tower, they've visited Louvre, and they want to see something different. They want to know where the locals are hanging out. So in general, it's more experienced travelers. We also know that they are generally between 20 and 45 years old.
Ah.
That's the core of the target group. And they have a little bit more than average or to spend on their holidays.
Okay, that's a fact, an interesting statistic that you've discovered.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. We have a lot of data on that, fortunately. Google helps us discover this information. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for answering those questions from the students. I'm sure they'll be very content to hear those responses. So Bart, management consultant, you something about you stepped into the role of doing Spotted by Locals full time. Scary prospect or an exciting one?
Definitely exciting. Yeah. So when we started in 2018, 2008, it was an adventure. We had saved enough money to do a big road trip through Europe. So we drove to 20 cities, including Paris, of course, and to find locals who want to cooperate with our project. And yeah, if it wouldn't have worked in a year, then we would have lost quite a bit of money, but we would have had an exciting year. And fortunately, we made it. And yeah, we're still here.
Within that 12 months, initial 12 months, 12, 13 years ago, you had a proof of concept and it
Yeah, it took off quite rapidly. It was a hot topic.
Great. Well, Spotted by Locals. This is the how to not to TLDR. Just be concise and your concept makes more sense to people. Cool. Thanks, Bart.
Okay. Thank you, Paul.
All right. I'll cut the recording.
All right.